Frog Song by Brenda Z. Giberson, illustrated by Gennady Spirin. Frogs have a song for trees, bogs, burrows, and logs. When frogs have enough moisture to keep gooey eggs, squirmy tadpoles, and hoppity adults from drying out, they can sing almost anywhere. Croak, ribbit, bzzzt, plonk, brack, thrummum. In the rainforest of Costa Rica, the strawberry poison dart frog trills a tiny tune in a pile of wet leaves. Psst, psst. The female hops over to lay 5 eggs. Squishy squirm. When the tadpoles hatch, she carries each of them to a separate pool of water high in the trees. In Oklahoma, the Great Plains narrow-mouthed toad stays moist in a shady spider hole until it rains. Then he emerges to belt out a song. Buzz, buzz, buzz! He lives with the tarantula and keeps the burrow free of insects. Zap! The tarantula eats some frogs, but not this one. In Ecuador, the song of the Suriname toad rattles across the swamp. Click, clack. The female carries 100 eggs in the skin on her back. A toad with no tongue, she dips and dives for food in the mud. Sloop, sloop. After 4 months, small froglets break through her skin and swim away. In northeastern Australia, the scarlet-sided pobblebonk sings by a pond after heavy rain. Bonk, bonk, bonk. The female frog lays her eggs on the water and whips the gooey mass into a ball of bubbles. Whoosh! This floating raft protects the eggs until the tadpoles hatch. In Spain, the song of the male midwife toad clangs like a bell. Tink, 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 tink. He carries a string of sticky eggs and crouches under a wet log to keep them moist. Squizzle squiz. When he feels the tadpoles squirming, he hops, hops, hops to find a pool where they can hatch. In Chile, the Darwin's frog sings in the beech forest. Chirp, tweet! The male guards 30 eggs in the damp leaves for 3 weeks. When the tadpoles wiggle, he scoops them into his mouth. Slurp! They slither into his vocal sacs, where he keeps them safe and moist for 7 weeks. Then he gives a big yawn, and the little froglets pop out. In Ethiopia, the shovel-nosed frog bellows a song from a dried-out pond. Buzz! The female uses her pointy snout to dig a burrow. She keeps her eggs moist until heavy rain floods the nest. Drizzle drop. The tadpoles hatch and the nest starts to dry up. The mother digs a channel through the mud so the tadpoles can slide into a larger pool before they dry out. In Borneo, the 4-lined tree frog whistles a song. Sweep, sweep. The female lays eggs on a leaf dangling over a stream. Swizzle swish. She stirs up a foamy nest to keep the eggs moist. When the tadpoles break out, they plop into the water below. In the Australian desert, the water-holding frog loads his tissues and bladder with water and digs deep into the ground. During months of inactivity, he sheds layers of skin that form a cocoon to keep him moist. Clink, clunk, clink. If he hears raindrops, he breaks out of the cocoon and sings, mwah, mwah, mwah. The tadpoles must mature in 2 weeks or they will dry up in the desert heat. On a mountain ridge in New Zealand, the Archie's frog warbles in the midst of a waterfall. Chirp, chirp, chirp. He sits on the egg mass to keep it moist. Wriggle, wriggle. After 5 weeks, tiny froglets hop out. In Canada, the wood frog bursts out with a song in a mossy bog. Bwah, bwah. The female attaches a mass of eggs to underwater plants. Many eggs and tadpoles will be eaten by fish and birds, but some will become frogs that can freeze in winter and thaw in the spring. A frog song is a celebration of clean water, plants, and insects to eat. Chirrup, prubble. Thousands of frog species have been singing and zapping since the time of dinosaurs. Every day in so many places they add their ribbits and bellows to the music of the earth. Frogs of the world.